From the NCIS team splitting up in the Season 5 finale, to Season 2's unexpected death of Caitlin Todd, here are the NCIS's most shocking scenes of all time. The show's all about teamwork and cooperation, so when the team split up, you can bet that fans were more than just surprised. Sure, them splitting up is one thing, but there was a lot more happening at the same time. The Season 5 finale of NCIS had us all on the edge of our seats. First things first, we witnessed the heartbreaking death of none other than NCIS director Jenny Shepard. It happened during a wild shootout that shocked everyone. Fans never saw it coming, and that's the beauty of the show. The team was then left to pick up the pieces and navigate the aftermath under Jenny's successor, the one and only Leon Vance. But hold on tight, because Leroy Jethro Gibbs went full detective mode and uncovered a mind-boggling revelation. And it turns out there was a dark connection to a former assassin that Jenny had tried to take down 9 years ago. Talk about discovering some serious history in the most unexpected way. I'm telling you, Season 5 had a lot going on. It even involved Gibbs taking matters into his own hands and serving up some well-deserved payback by eliminating the assassin. But here's the kicker, just when we thought we couldn't handle any more suspense, Vance, in a twist that had us all shouting at our TV screens, decided to break up the team as the season finale cliffhanger. No one ever really expects the team to split up, but NCIS makes sure to do the unexpected. The fans all knew about the tension between Tony and Ziva. They were practically inseparable. But no one could have ever expected Tony to end up with a child. All right, folks, get ready for a tearjerker, because we're diving into what might just be the most emotional scene in NCIS history. Picture this. The team gets the devastating news that Ziva David, a beloved member of the NCIS family, is believed to be dead after her farmhouse goes up in flames. The shockwaves ripple through the team, leaving them stunned and heartbroken. But just when you think things couldn't get any worse, brace yourselves for a bombshell revelation. Tony Donazzo gets news that flips his world upside down. Ziva apparently had a daughter. Yes, a beautiful little girl named Tally, and Tony is her father. Can you even imagine the flood of emotions that hit him at that moment? It's like his entire reality shattered and rebuilt itself in an instant. As Tony grapples with this life-altering revelation, memories of his time with Ziva come rushing back. And here's where the story takes an unexpected turn. In the face of this newfound fatherhood, Tony makes a life-changing decision. He chooses to leave his life at NCIS, the job he's known and dedicated himself to start a new chapter as a devoted father to Tally. I don't know about you, but the sheer emotional weight of this storyline gives me chills. It's a testament to the depth and complexity of the characters we've come to love in NCIS. Let's move on to one of my personal favorites, Abby deciding to leave the NCIS team. We all knew she was leaving the show, but the way it went down was nothing short of mind-blowing. Abby was with Reeves in this particular episode called One Step Forward in Season 15. In the episode, they just cracked a tough case and even lent a helping hand to a homeless vet. It was all going so well, and the moment itself was just so heartwarming. Well, hold on to your seats, because things took a dark turn. As Abby and Reeves leave together, minding their own business, a mugger ambushes them out of nowhere. And Reeves, being the brave soul he is, hands over his money to the mugger. But when Abby tries to help, everything spirals out of control. In a split second, the mugger pulls the trigger, and tragedy strikes. Reeves tragically loses his life, and Abby ends up in the hospital, fighting for her own survival. Unbelievable, right? But hold on to your tissues, because there's more to this story. As the investigation unfolds, it's revealed that the mugger was actually hired to kill Abby by a man she'd put away years ago. Talk about revenge with vengeance. And that's when Abby decides that she's had enough of NCIS. In the face of such a devastating loss, she makes the decision to leave NCIS to fulfill Reeves' dream and help run a charity that he'd always dreamed of opening. A wholesome end to a brutal turn of events. You know how I talked about Ziva's death? Yeah, well, that didn't quite happen. Ziva David, the one we all thought was gone for good, made an epic comeback that left us on the edge of our seats. So let me set the stage. Ziva's supposed demise wasn't as shocking as it could have been, since her body was never found. But oh, how the plot thickens. In Season 16, we started getting subtle hints that Ziva might still be alive. It was like breadcrumbs leading us toward an incredible revelation. But let me tell you, folks, when that moment finally arrived, it hit us like a bolt of lightning. Picture this. Gibbs, in his trusty basement, minding his own business when out of the blue, Ziva herself descends those stairs. Can you imagine the shock and disbelief? I bet you could hear our collective screams of joy through your TV screens. Ziva was back, alive and kicking, but she wasn't there to exchange pleasantries. Not at all. She was mad because Gibbs never came looking for her, never found her when she needed him the most. But here's the kicker, she was there to protect him. Talk about a twist, right? I have to warn you, it was a short-lived return for our beloved Ziva to the world of NCIS. But man, was it a grand surprise. Fans rejoiced to see her return, resurrected from the dead, ready to dive back into action. Though that isn't the only time Gibbs has been at the center of a shocking moment. In Season 12, Gibbs gets shot. Buckle up because we're about to dive into a nail-biting Season 12 finale that will leave you begging for more. In the finale, Gibbs and his team find themselves in the heart of Iraq, hot on the trail of a suspicious girl. But little do they know, this is just the beginning of a heart-stopping chain of events. As fate would have it, Gibbs gets separated from his team during this high-stakes mission. And just when you think things couldn't get any more intense, the leader of a sinister organization called The Calling, Daniel Budd, enters the scene. The tension builds as Agent Tony Donazzo receives a phone call from the villain, and just as the suspense reaches its peak, one of the boys recruited by The Calling emerges from the shadows, aiming a gun directly at Gibbs. Time slows down as the shots ring out, hitting our fearless leader not once, but twice, and the season just ends there. It's a cliffhanger moment that left us all on the edge of our seats, jaws dropped in disbelief as the screen fades to black. Sure, characters die all the time, but if there's one death to talk about, it is Caitlin Todd's shock death in Season 2. Get ready to have your mind blown, my fellow NCIS enthusiasts, because we're about to dive deep into a jaw-dropping moment that had us all gasping for air. So, here's the lowdown. Ari Hazware, the double agent, was back in action, running a full-blown terrorist cell. The NCIS team, led by the one and only Gibbs, is determined to put an end to his reign of terror and protect their own at all costs. But here's where it gets even more intense. Gibbs finds himself in the crosshairs of Ari's deadly mission to eliminate him. To ensure his safety, he's placed under the watchful eye of the formidable agent Caitlin Todd. As the mission unfolds, the tension builds to a fever pitch. Gibbs and his team race against the clock to locate Ari and put an end to his sinister plans. The race is filled with pulse-pounding action and adrenaline-fueled moments that will leave you breathless. Just when you think they've won, and the dust starts to settle, a chilling ambush sends shockwaves through the room. Out of nowhere, a bullet rips through the air, finding its target, Agent Todd's head. In an instant, she's gone, leaving Gibbs, Donazzo, and all of us watching in a state of disbelief. I mean, can you imagine the sheer shock and devastation? Sasha Alexander's portrayal of Agent Todd was nothing short of extraordinary, and her sudden departure left us all reeling. It's a reminder that no one's safe in the world of NCIS, and the unexpected lurks around every corner. So there you have it. From the death of Caitlin Todd to the NCIS team splitting up, these were just some of NCIS's most shocking scenes of all time.